Hey guys, Jessica here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm using the Birthday Dog Wheelie set from ArtImpressions, and this is for one of their challenges over on the ArtImpressions blog. I'll have a link to that below if you're interested in checking it out. Also, I'll have a link to my blog post and their blog post, everything. Everything is down below in the description box. I am very excited to show you how I created this card. It was a lot of fun and I love the little interactiveness that it gives to a card. It's kind of like those storybook or pop-up books. I had a couple when I was younger that I kind of remember. It just reminds me of that, and I think it's super fun. And I kind of ran with that storybook theme throughout my coloring too, so I'll show you that here in a little bit. So this does come with everything that you need to create this interactive wheelie card. All the coordinating dies that you'll need, plus you get 9 different small white brads. Each wheelie takes 3 brads to create, so you can make 3 of these different wheelie dogs. To get started, I'm stamping my images out on some 80-pound Neenah cardstock using some Gina K amalgam ink, and I'm using the same panel for all of my stamp images, and that is only because I will be fussy cutting the dog and the bicycle image out. If I was not going to be doing that, I would actually separate the accessory type stamps from the main image stamp. So I'm using the coordinating dies to cut out all of my elements. Now if you look at the top small wheel there, I did cut out the middle portion of that using one of the dies. I was not supposed to do that with the small wheel. It should have been the larger wheel. So I do fix that later on once I notice. And since I fussy cut the dog out, I'm going to go ahead and ink all of the edges with a black marker. And I'm going to do that with all of the other die cuts too. That way it has a cohesive look. Now to make this a interactive design, there is a large circle die and then this turn stamp, and also has that rectangle with the perforated lines in it, and this is your turning mechanism for the inside of the card that'll make the wheel turn and the dog's leg move. I don't know why I had such trouble putting this together. It just kept popping apart, but I did just use my ATG gun and attach that tab to the center of that circle. Now I can start assembling my dog's leg. I started with the lower portion of the dog's leg, adding that over the top of the larger wheel using one of the small white brads. And then I can add the thigh to the knee portion with the second brad. And you can also see I use the smallest circle die to die cut that lower portion on the dog's body. There was a little black dot. That's where that third brad will go. So for my background, I created this Copic colored ocean boardwalk scene. So I'm going to line up the dog where I want him to sit on that boardwalk background. Trace the die cut circle and the front wheel onto that background, and then use the same die to cut out that circle. And now I can line up the dog. I already added some wet adhesive to him. So if you were making a panel with the dog stamp image and you wanted to pop it up, you would have to lay some foam tape or some kind of dimensional adhesive around the brads so that they wouldn't get stuck on it. That way everything could freely move. So kind of the same concept, but it's just not as dimensional. I added some adhesive to that whole panel and then attached it to a card base that already has a hole cut out. So now I can take some foam adhesive. I'm using just some foam adhesive that I have. I'm going to pop on that circle with the turning tab on the inside of the card and kind of test it. It's a little wonky, so it just takes a bit of fiddling to kind of get everything straightened and aligned correctly for it to really turn smoothly. Then I use the same square foam adhesive to pop up that smaller wheel. I have a few final touches to do. I need to adhere the balloon to the background, but first I'm going to use some baker's twine to go over that string line. I add some underneath the handlebars and then gently push the baker's twine underneath, that way it starts there. And then I follow the string line with some liquid adhesive, and then all I have to do is lay the twine right over that adhesive line and then cut off the portion that I don't need. I do add some extra glue to each end, and then especially right over where that loop is. I want to make sure that when you move the dog's leg, it's not going to snag on that twine. One of the brads did kind of snag it a little bit, and I just had to maneuver the back of the brad, those little prongs, a certain way, that way they wouldn't snag on it, and it was fine. And just add some more adhesive. And then all I have to do is pop on that balloon at the very top with some liquid adhesive. Now, ideally, I would have already done the sentiment before finishing the card. This was an accident. I kind of forgot about the sentiment. I really love this one. It says, "Life is a beautiful ride," which I think fits perfect and really goes along with this whole storybook, ocean beach, serene kind of scene that I'm building. So I'm stamping that with my stamp platform. That way I have less chances of mistakes, using some clear ink and some gold embossing powder to heat emboss it. Now you can see the dog's leg moving. It's such a great interactive design. I can't wait to see what everyone creates with these two brand new interactive wheelie stamps. These are just so much fun, and I'm sure anybody in your life would love to receive one. That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Meh, meh.